Hey everyone, what's up, gutters, friends? I don't know what we're calling our fans here, Kevin Israel. Do we even have a term?
The the gutters. No, I guess the gutters are the people who come on.
Yeah,
No, maybe we should. There's a poll. You love the polls.
I do. Well,
There's a poll.
so does your
You
mom.
you love the poll.
Yeah. What should we call the fans? That's a good Twitter question. Look for it soon. Hey,
Yeah.
Patreon folks, thank you again for being super duper fans of ours. We love you. You're awesome. So this week, Kevin Israel and I want to talk to you about several things. I think the first one is pretty hot off the press, and that is the Top Gun 2 trailer. I watched it. Now,
Mhm.
I didn't want to feel the need to get sucked in the nostalgia bandwagon. And after watching the newest trailer, I foresee myself buying tickets to go see this in the theater. God damn it. Anyway, Tom Cruise, you don't miss with me. You rarely miss. What was the last bad Tom Cruise film? Jack Reacher 2, Oblivion. That was it.
No, the movie he did where he wasn't Frankenstein. What was he? He was not the
Oh,
mummy.
no,
Was he the mummy?
it was the mummy. I didn't see it because it looked terrible.
So bad.
No desire.
So bad.
No desire.
But you know what? He's still likable in it. Like the movie's bad, but you still can enjoy him. He's a great actor.
He's an even better producer.
Yeah.
You see Miles Teller as Goose's son, and I wonder if
With the mustache,
yeah,
just in case you weren't sure.
Yeah, and I wonder if Cruise ever tells him, "Hey, not quite my tempo." I tell you what, my question going in is, what's happening with Iceman? And bang, we get an answer. He's an admiral. I wonder how much screen time they're going to give him, and let's see if he can do
I
that.
bet he does. I bet he doesn't get any.
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
Yeah, no, maybe they do, but I would be surprised if that picture you saw of him was it. Yeah.
I know they filmed this saying this has been delayed twice. I know for sure 2 years delayed, maybe even 3 years delayed. This may have been before the voice box went to shit and cancer grabbed them by the balls.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. It was probably filmed about 4 years ago.
Close to. Maybe we get them. What about you? What are your thoughts?
You know what? The first couple trailers that dropped as they kept trying to release this but failed, I was sure this was going to be crap. Like they just showed a couple flying scenes and a couple of people talking about Maverick, we don't trust him or whatever. It's like, all right. But you're right. This trailer, I was like, shit, they played the music.
Mm-hmm.
That music I forgot the emotion that music brings out in you. Like that score is it's uncanny. And
no Danger Zone, though. I was so waiting for Danger Zone to be played.
I'm sure there'll be a big Danger Zone. And they're the guys, they were playing football on the beach as opposed to volleyball and the beach volleyball.
Right.
But I kind of got into the trailer. The idea of Maverick as like a reluctant, kind of grizzled instructor who, knows better than these damn kids. But I will say this. Did you see Bad Boys 3?
Of course.
Yes,
it's in the theater.
Yeah. So when they introduced that whole like slew of young bad boys or whatever they were supposed to be, it kind of feels like that. It's kind of like, well, we got to give the kids something. So here are all the new recruits, but you had to do it. So it looks like it'll be all right. And look in the 80s, those flight scenes, the dog fight scenes were amazing.
Right.
And they used models for half of it. So God knows what it's going to be like now that they can actually get access to the jets. And I'm more excited than I ever thought I was going to be about this movie.
And CGI'd the shit out of it where he zips in between two of those jets.
Right. Right. Yo, you don't think they really did that?
Damn you, Tom Cruise. If there's, I give money to millionaires often, to the Yankees, to the Giants. And Tom Cruise has got to be my other millionaire. I gladly give him
the Scientology church.
Listen, you keep putting out good shit, you're going to get my money.
You're right. I can't argue with you.
Here's what I've watched recently. And this was recommended to us by our friend Bex on Twitter. She said, have you not seen Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer? And I said, I have not. I watched it. It's like a screwball.
I remember it.
On a submarine comedy. Kevin Israel, I'm not even kidding you. I didn't laugh once. I didn't even smirk once. These are the laziest jokes I've ever seen in a film. It tried to be hot shot so hard, and wow, it was beyond dog shit. Lauren Holly in her prime couldn't save this nuclear winter fucking abysmal turd. It's a 1 out of 10. It was fucking awful.
Wow. Jeez. I between the time I wrote these and now that we're filming this, I actually watched I watched I Want You Back with Charlie Day. It was on Amazon. I think Amazon.
Wait, Charlie Day, is that the guy from It's Always Sunny?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pacific Rim. It's a romantic comedy about two people who get dumped and then they become friends. The boy and the girl of either couple become friends, and they decide each one is going to try to help them get their ex significant other to break up with the new person so they can get back with them. And of course, you know, they end up sort of falling for each other. I mean, the whole movie is telegraphed. But there was some decent funny scenes. I like Charlie Day. I think he plays the same character in every movie. He's like the kind of weaselly, likable guy who screams a lot. He was in a movie with Ice Cube, the street fight or fist fight, I think. Right. That was decently fun. There's a couple of
scenes watched that?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. There's a scene where he raps with his little girl who's supposed to be his daughter. He raps, I ain't fucking with you, but they're supposed to be at like a school recital. And my wife and I think that's hilarious, but it was an okay movie. But he's likable enough and he's funny enough. But the movie itself, you saw what was coming the whole time. It almost felt like it wanted to be a raunchy comedy. Like if this was made 15 years ago, it probably would have been a great raunchy comedy. But they weren't willing to go all the way in a lot of the jokes. So there was like a threesome scene where I was like, oh, this is gonna be good, and then it just didn't go anywhere. So I think the way comedies are going right now, it's unfortunate because they're too soft. Ugh. And so yeah, it took us 2 sittings to watch it. Let's put it that way. Oh. So yeah, unfortunately, I Want You Back is a 3 of 10 for me.
I guess you don't want them back that much.
No, not that bad.
I'll give you a good one that I didn't see. Richard Jewell, Clint Eastwood. Very good job. The guy who played Richard Jewell, fantastic. I mean, we all know the story, how he got railroaded into being the accused for the Atlanta bombing. I didn't know how bad he was railroaded to this degree. John Hamm's character is a real dickhead. Yeah, I don't know how true this is in this to reality, but this is 75% on point. You're like, holy shit. That poor bastard. Then he died, by the way, Richard Jewell, at the age of 44 of a heart attack. But very good. I enjoyed it. Richard Jewell, give that a watch.
That actor is very good. He was in a show I watched called The Kingdom, and he's very good at playing awkward, uncomfortable people who end up being likable.
Okay.
So the other thing I watched was the series Upload on Amazon. The first series was awesome. It's all based around the idea that when you die, you can have your brain uploaded into this like perfect resort world where you can spend eternity just living, if you have enough money, living life perfectly. And it was a really cute, cool idea. Season 1, the characters were great. It was really, really well done, funny and endearing enough. Season 2 fell off the cliff. It got a little too political for me. Not enough jokes. The jokes that were there were all rehashed jokes from the first season. And then suddenly we one episode ended and my wife looks and goes, oh, the season's over. That's it. And I was like, oh, I don't even I'm not even sure how it resolved itself. So I'll give season 3 a chance just because I like the characters a lot. But season 2 was a steep drop off from season 1.
Yikes. All right. I don't know if I'll invest time on that one. The last one I rewatched, Miracle, the story of the 1980 Lake Placid USA team. We all know what a man crush that you and I have on Kurt Russell. It sure doesn't get old. God, I love that fucking guy. It gets a little Disney sugar-fied, but man, when they play the Russians in the second round, that's one of the best scenes in sports films, hand down. Yeah. And if you don't get chills when Al Michael asks, do you believe in miracles? I mean, go waste your time with Napoleon Dynamite or A Christmas Story, you fucking turd. I love this film. It's easily in my top 5 sports films. I give it a nice 7.5 out of 10.
It's a great movie.
I love it. Anything else you watch?
No, that's it for me.
How about some movie news from you?
Movie news. Hey, I don't know if you heard about this, but Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. I felt like what else movie news we couldn't not talk about this, right? Like,
I guess.
I was down. I wasn't even watching the Oscars. I was watching one of the movies for the podcast, and my wife calls down to me and she's like, "Babe, you need to come up and see what just happened on the Oscars." And I was like, "No, I don't." She's like, "You need to come upstairs right now." I paused it and I went upstairs and she rewound it and played it for me. And I was like, wow. Like,
yeah.
You know, when you see something and you're like, well, this is going to be a big deal for a while. Like it was, and you know, at first everybody thought it was staged, and look, it's been talked to death, but it's just you can't not at least mention it because it was absolutely bananas watching one of the biggest stars in the world slap in the face the biggest comedian in the world,
right,
at the biggest award show in the world. It's just absolute insanity. And you can say whatever you want, that he was pressured by his wife and that Will Smith has had quite a year of ups and downs.
Years.
Yeah. But Jesus Christ, that was, and now you've seen that slap video 100 times already, 200 times. They just keep playing it at everything. And I got to admit, every time I see it, I'm like, I can't believe that fucking happened. Like
it was
bananas.
funny. It was funny because I saw the Japanese transmission where she's speaking in Japanese in the background. And that's funny. Listen to her have to translate that, which cracked me up. Give me your best Will Smith joke that you wrote, and I'll give you my best Will Smith joke that I wrote. Because now this is the official burial of those jokes, but might as well get it out there for our Patreon.
Oh, you know, I posted this right after it happened, so I'm not saying I was the first, but it was one of the first things I posted about this a couple minutes after I saw it.
Right.
I got in one little fight and producers got scared. They said, "You're never going to work again anywhere."
I did two that I thought I got a lot of share, like 7 shares on Facebook and a good amount of likes. It was Zelensky just tweeted that the Putin talked about Jada Pinkett Smith. And the other one I wrote that did not get the love, and I think this is a better one, is Will Smith did Chris Rock more dirty than Will Smith did the first Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dirty.
That was fun. I saw that. That was fun.
I like
the other one I wrote that I liked was somewhere Kanye West is going, and all I did was interrupt her.
I mean, I can't think it is, but man, this is like 80% of Will Smith's going to go away for quite some time now because of this.
Oh yeah. I mean, look,
and he can afford to. It's like he's got to be. His movies have made obviously well over $1 billion by now.
So he's fine. Money. He'd be fine just off the Fresh Prince money. Like he's fine. But I'm sure his agents and his PR team and everybody's huddled up saying, "Will, you're going to be going on a 2-year sabbatical where you're going to talk about nothing but improving yourself." And he's really got to apologize to Chris Rock, not a little more than just the fucking Instagram post that he put up. But still, look, whatever you want to say about it, it was bananas that we saw that happen.
Yeah.
Like just absolutely crazy.
Now everyone's going to get sucked into watching next year's Oscars and thinking that's going to happen or something of that magnitude.
Yeah.
Movie news for you nowhere near as exciting. I saw an article in Slash Film that said each of the suits in Edge of Tomorrow weigh between 85 and 135 fucking pounds, not counting weapons. No wonder Tom Cruise is always running in place while doing push-ups while he's in line to take a piss. I mean, to have to schlep that around on top of that, wow. And that
this entire Patreon episode has been Kevin Goatee just blowing Tom Cruise.
Listen, Edge of Tomorrow 2, I'm there opening day.
You know what? We've talked about this before. It's such an underrated movie. It should have been called what it was actually originally titled, Live, Die, Repeat.
Right.
But yeah, it was a great movie, a great concept. And it actually is a movie that could beg a sequel. So hopefully they keep it up.
Movie quotes. I have one. Stereotyping saves time. from Up in the Air, 2009, the movie that actually inspired me to get into stand-up comedy. This is where Clooney's explaining to Andy Kendrick how to save time at the airport by following Asians and avoiding old people and Muslims in line at TSA. So whenever I say, you make a comment, go, yeah, stereotyping saves time. That always cracks me up from Clooney in that film. I love that film. Criminally underrated. That should have won Best Picture of 2009. I know Avatar.
I've never seen it. Yeah, I've never seen it.
Post haste, watch that. And the reason I'll tell you, and what got me in the comedy, I'll tell you. The long and the short story is this: I've seen corporate America, and just like there's more to life than what's going on. There's more to life than fucking schlepping drugs around for Merck. And when he so Clooney's job is he goes around, he fires people. The companies pay him to go around and downsize people. And he fires J.K. Simmons. And J.K. Simmons slides a picture of his kids across the table, goes, well, what am I supposed to tell them? So Clooney looks at his resume and says, oh, well, okay. You've been here 25 years, but you're in college. You were a culinary major, and your first job out was a pastry chef for a French restaurant. And the line that shot a bolt of lightning up my asshole was, he said to him, tell me this, how much did they pay you to give up on your dream? And J.K. Simmons goes, $25,000 a year. I go, well, that's it. So I was kind of kicking the idea. So there you go. That's it. I'm doing it. And I did it. So there we are. So this film is brilliant.
Yeah, I have to check that out.
It's so good. It's so good. Vera Farmiga is great in it. Andy Kendrick's pretty good in it too. But I mean, Clooney's another guy. He almost gets my money almost a lot of times, not all the time. What was that one I watched with him and Catherine Zeta-Jones? That was fucking terrible. It was like a
thing. Wasn't it like a spy movie?
No. It was. He's a divorce lawyer, and she's trying to divorce people to get richer and richer and richer. He falls in love with her, and she fucks him over.
I've never seen that movie.
The Coen brothers wrote it, and it stunk.
Yeah.
What about you, quote-wise?
Quote from me comes from 2000's Road Trip. Did I say 2? Better make it 3. And if you don't know what the scene is, it's when EL, who is basically Stifler, he is Stifler. I mean, I don't know why they should have just called him Stifler. He discovers the wonders and beauty of milking the prostate, and he's about to have a young nursing student milk his prostate, and instead of 2 fingers, he asks for 3. And this is one of those quotes when anytime somebody says 2, like, how do you need 2? I would always go, better make it 3. And once in a while, people will go, oh yeah.
See, I'm taking the road much more traveled. Whenever someone says, give me 2, I go, Utah. Give me 2.
Right.
I mean, that's you hear that. You can hear that at a bar at least once a night without fail. Someone yells that out.
One of my buddies, that was one of my buddies' like signature lines in shortly after college. And so I would just never sit because it was he would always say, anytime we went to get anything, anytime he'd always be like, Utah. And we'd be like, all right, we know, we get it.
Around the corner, they have the best meatball subs. Would you grab me a couple? Fucking love that film.
2 of them too. Fat bastard.
And then they didn't have a chance to eat them because the dead presidents robbed the bank.
That's right. Never got to enjoy it.
And the best part was and we did it during our podcast when the STST guys did it. I think like 2 subs and 2 lemonades was something like $5.70. I'm like, 1991 was so fucking pocket friendly.
Fucking inflation.
I'm like, even one of those
$25 today.
2 lemonades are bordering on $5 these days, which is sad. Well, that does it for this week's Patreon talk with us.
We missed one.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you have?
That doesn't happen.
What do you have?
So I have the baguette. If you've ever noticed, whenever somebody goes shopping in a movie, a grocery shopping, they always come out and there's a naked loaf of bread hanging out of their bag. And I got to tell you, I've been grocery shopping for the better part of 3 decades. Mm-hmm. And I've never once had a naked French or Italian bread. They're always wrapped. They always, even if you get them from a bakery, they come wrapped. And right. I don't know why this became like a trope that Hollywood picked up on, but it doesn't happen. They're always wrapped.
And you're right. Oh, for both reasons, especially I have to prove I've gone shopping. The baguette out of the grocery bag is a clear indicator. Or you know what else they also use too? A celery or carrot stalk popping out of the bag too.
Yep.
I have one, and only because I was talking about it with Ray Goots not even an hour ago, and we were going all around the Star Wars universe. He asked me to watch Solo, which I did, and it's the 3rd worst of them all. And we're talking about how much I hate the Rise of Skywalker, rightfully so. And the one argument I go, I just don't understand how the fuck you can have horses on a spaceship in outer space. Please explain it. I still, again, Star Wars universe, you can print whatever creativity, licensing you want to do with that. Go nuts, because there aren't any rules in that universe, and that's fine. But when you put horses on the outside of a spaceship in the middle of space, I have to call bullshit and go, that doesn't happen. Fuck that film. Kevin Goatee and Kevin Israel, thank you again for being part of our Patreon. Make sure you go and like us on YouTube. Do us a favor, because our advertisers are yelling at us. Go and like and comment on our videos. They need more interaction on YouTube. I know you come to us on Twitter, and that's where we do all the interaction, but they need more interaction from you guys on YouTube. Please make it so. We love you, and we'll see you next week.